Like, what do you guys do, and what was your journey, you know what I mean, to that? Do you feel like that what you're doing today is your,
No,
you know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Your purpose?
I was just thinking that. Yeah. Because I was, as you were speaking, I was thinking, yeah, because I started off not wanting to go into education, didn't do anything like that. I went back to university as an adult.
Because what do you do, Sharon?
I'm a financial planner, so I help people to plan their financial future. But I used to work, I started off as a receptionist, then went back into education, worked for the NHS as an assistant director, then moved from that, non-clinical, into housing. I mean, how different is that? But it was the building profession, into finances. I mean, that was never part of my journey, you know, math, no. Thank God for calculators, you know. But obviously, the part of my path that I recognize in everything I've done is the connection with people. The connection with speaking to people, bringing support to people, bringing a version of healing to people in different, and that's always been part of my journey. But the tools that I've had to do that has been different along the pathway. And that's what that just came to me. That's an epiphany.
That's awesome.
I do feel it comes in stages, because I feel like even now I'd be looking at, in my role, working full time for the church.
Yeah,
Sometimes
what do you do, Jake?
Pastoral stuff, venue and experience, pastoral stuff. So even as I'm speaking, I'm like, this is what's been a journey for me recently, being like I've had to learn who I am always greater than what I do, because what I do, I think for a while, I'd always seen like, oh, maybe I don't enjoy that, but I can see why I'm doing this bit because I'm learning that. I can see why I'm doing this because I'm learning that. And then I hit a place where I'm like, none of this makes sense. So what I do, I couldn't put any or very little of my identity in that, because it just did not make sense. So then I shifted out of what I do to, right, who I am, who's Jake, what am I doing for God, what's my purpose in this?
Right.
And now I've started to see what I do in a way different perspective, because now before I'd say I was on this what I do mission and it's helping who I am. Now I'm just on a who I am mission. All right, what do I get to do along the way? And even still, there's stuff that will pop up and be like, that's why I did that. And stuff that I would have done this week. Maybe still I don't understand the reason to it. Maybe 10, 20 years time, be like, that's why I went through that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You tell me if this is too personal.
No, okay.
Why did you stay in roles that you couldn't see purpose in? You know what I mean?
Because, and I guess bring calling into it, I didn't hear anything but. I didn't hear stay, I didn't hear go. So my thing was like, let's stay faithful with God must have put this in my hand for a reason. All right, cool. So there's no call, no audible, nothing from someone else, nothing in the Bible that was like, made me think, okay, maybe this. So it just felt, I think I was at peace with staying with it, really.
Interesting. Do you think Christians sometimes over-spiritualize these things?
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
I think we do.
Yeah.
Because you think it would be wrong for Jake to have said, I'm not sure, I'm going to go find something, you know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. I don't think neither
It's wrong.
would be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's in like we can create our plans, but the Lord directs our steps. Do you know what I mean? As in like, I think we can do, and then if we're actually being with God and we're spending time with Him, we're listening to Him, then maybe He'll pull us, maybe He'll use that, maybe He'll. I don't think there's.
And I wrestle with that. Do you stay and just do nothing, be like, this is what you got handed, or do you try and make as many plans as you can and wait for God to pull you into one? So
or closed doors that you try.
Yeah. And I remember chatting to friends like, do I just be like, this is the door that I'm walking through, or let's just try a few other doors, see which one's actually the one, and wrestled with that.
Because I think sometimes as Christians especially, we're waiting for this outside voice to tell us what to do.
Almost audible, right?
Yeah. Whereas I remember listening to a podcast one time where this girl was as a believer, was talking about how she had this revelation, basically, that if I've been walking with God, my desires, I've been praying that they would be in line with his desires. You know what I mean? He was living in me. Why do I make this separation and wait for some outside thing versus believing and trusting that what he's putting in me and the thoughts and, you know what I mean, are him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can always close a door if you know what I mean?
That's right.
But I think as Christians, sometimes we spend way too much time waiting and not doing something, not moving. Even when, is it in Exodus where there's that verse where they talk about, and we use it all the time, and it's like, be still, God's gonna fight. I read that recently, and literally the very next verse is God being like, why are you still standing there? Get up and go.
Exactly.
But we don't read that verse.
Yeah.
We just read the one before it.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not like be still, be still. It's
Be
like,
still sounds
and
so
wait.
nice.
Yeah. Do you think it's like easier to go, I'm just waiting for God to reveal what my purpose is, rather than going, I'm going to try and fail, and then I'm a failure, my purpose is.
it.
Do you know what I
We're
mean?
frightened
I think
of
we
failure.
are.
Yeah.
Fear.
Whereas
We
God
could
can
wait
use
forever.
that. Yeah, forever. Whereas God can use that, and that can actually be part of our purpose, and be really,
I think there's times though when it can be both, right? Because I think there's definitely times when we over spiritualize and we should make a move and trust. But then there's other times, like I've certainly had seasons, you know what I mean, of dissatisfaction, and I just want to move on, and you try and you knock on doors and apply and nothing opens, and you realize, no, I'm really just meant to learn to be content and learn to make the most and figure out what God's trying to teach me. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's always either or. It's
It's true.
But like, have you prayed about it and you're like, I didn't really change anything, but it's kind of like, what do I do? Another question I was going to ask, like, what do you guys think about like signs and like, because I know we talked about doors closing, or I can't remember what the exact point was, but it's like, I know as Christians we'd be like doing stuff and like this happens, it must be a sign I'm in this, or there must be a sign this is happening. So it's like, A, do we believe in signs, and are signs like evidence of your walking in purpose, or is it just stuff we like to attach to validate what we believe?
Powerful
like, thingy.
what do you say, Maureen?
Someone else answer this. Because when I hear it, I actually don't, as in...
I do it as well, I'm just saying. Like, I'm
I'm
just saying
just
this
like,
because I'm like...
You don't believe in signs?
Not that I don't believe, I believe in signs, I just don't really...
I need an example. Give me an example of a sign.
Yeah, you know what I mean? As in, I don't
believe.
believe in like, if I see like a number, I'm like, oh yeah, like...
It's such like a random
mean?
thingy, because like something like it's like an habitual thing that you pick up from other people, which I don't believe in it, but I sometimes like...
I think somebody can like affirm, you know what I mean? As in like give you a word. Like I totally believe, and I really believe that God works through people
He'll bring
and
confirmation.
again bringing the purpose.
He'll bring confirmation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like a sign on like a bus, like, you know what I mean, of a number, and that means that. Like I personally, I'm not into that, but I have no...
But in saying that, if you're praying for something specific and then on a bus it goes by, you're like...
I think God can use whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true. I guess in my life, I haven't experienced that.
Yeah, I just think that you can get confirmation. You can definitely get confirmation. I'm always a little bit weary of people coming in, giving you new information, like, God told me to tell you that you're going to, and this is going to happen. That's your purpose. You're supposed to be walking down this path. Because when they come to you, you should be kind of going, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, because that's real confirmation. I've been praying on that. And I was asking God for some confirmation, and here you've come back to me and you've said this. Great, great. So I do believe that we can get confirmation. Yeah. I think that we need to be in ourselves praying anyway about anything we're about to undertake and do in terms of what our purpose is. Do not become reliant on a sign. Again, just really funny. This woman was watching the news at 10. I don't know if you remember Trevor McDonald, the black guy that used to read the news. And this woman got obsessed because she said that she knew that God was telling her that she was supposed to marry Trevor McDonald. And she kept waiting for Trevor McDonald to get in touch with her. And years went by. And every single month she'd write a letter to Trevor McDonald. You're supposed to marry me. Of course, it never happened.
I was going to say, did it happen?
Exactly. So let's be careful, about who's speaking into our lives, what they're saying about our purpose. But what we should be doing is saying, send me some confirmation. I kind of feel that I need something. I think that's okay, right?
Yeah.
I think it's all right. 'Cause I often pray and say, look, give me some clarity.
Yeah.
I need some clarity here. Is this really, really, you want me to give this person my car? Okay. I reject you, Satan. Jesus. But it might be that God is really telling you something and you just need that person or that thing, something to show up right there and then. And I think it's okay to go and speak to other people, other believers. Have somebody who you think is someone who understands the word and is grounded. I think it's great at that point to go and say to this person, listen, I think I've just had some confirmation of something I was thinking about doing or whatever, moving my job or staying where I am or whatever. Would you pray with me about this? And I think it's okay that we do that.